You know, let me tell you about this young man. Him and his brother had built a super large organization. When I came over from my last MLM company, where I was the number 2 guy of all time, I came over to ACN, and there was a few of us came over from my old company, and he was already on top doing things and big things. I remember going to my first ACN convention, and he had to have you heard of us, and I'm like, wow. And I'm looking over there at the raft. I'm looking over at this section right here that walked by the stage. I like one over here, one over, all the way over here. I said, God, this guy's got hundreds of people here. Man, I've heard of him now. At every convention, he is God. He's dominating those charts. And I tell you what, he's done a fantastic job. We became good friends, and he's doing a great job up in the Detroit area. And he's also hanging out there in Connecticut, building on the East Coast. This phenomenal. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, can we give a warm welcome to none other than Hurd?
Outstanding, outstanding. I pray you guys can hear me loud and clear. I definitely want to make sure that, listen, I'm excited. I'm telling you, man, I'm pumped up, fired up about what's going on. Lives are being changed every single solitary day. So I always say, here we go, here we go, here we go again, baby. Lives are being changed every single solitary day. So I want to thank each of you guys for joining this call. So you guys know I have a window of time here, so I'm going to get right into the information. But before I do, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you guys right now is that I said this the other night on our call, so you guys know about Mr. Al Thomas. You know, first of all, from the day I met him 20 plus years ago, we connected, we became friends, the rest is history. But I want to tell you is that, you know, prior to getting involved with ACN or prior to getting involved with network marketing, he had built a very successful real estate business, so you guys know. So he comes from success. He's not a stranger to not having success, so you guys know. So he got involved with this industry. He went with his first company. Things happened where they actually all came over with ACN. And he took the same attitude he had from that first company where he was the number 2 money earner from that company. He came over to this company, became a senior vice president. The rest is history. And we're looking forward to senior vice president platinum. All right. So we can get into money and things of that nature, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not about that. It's about how many people and how many lives that you're changing. So you guys know. And then Mr. Thomas is an expert. He's actually a guru. He's the GOAT of helping people change their life if they want to do that. All right. So if you guys have the opportunity work with him daily, do me a personal favor. Sometimes when the person becomes close to you or they work directly with you, you don't value them as much because they work directly with you. So make sure you guys hold on to his coattail, do anything that he asks of you to do, because remember, he's never going to tell you to do something that you're not doing, that he's not doing himself. So thank you, Mr. Thomas, and thank you for leading. You know, I'm looking at the charts, and Mr. Al Thomas is there on the charts. That says a lot about your character and who you are, because you stay in the front. So truly thank you for everything you brought to this industry. This is going on 4 decades for you. I thought I was saying something that I've been in the industry now. This is going on 31 years. My family and I have been involved in one company. And I want to tell you guys right now, just a quick story before I get into this training. If it's okay with you, Mr. Thomas, I want to tell this quick story. When I got involved in this industry, so you guys know, I was 23 years old. I knew nothing about business. I was literally just getting out of school. So I had and when I say school, I still was in student mode, if that makes sense. So a lot of things was impressionable to me because I was only 23 years old. And they say the average man mind really don't form into a grown man until he's 25 to 30 years old. So obviously you knew where I was at. But because I had kids at 18 years old, you know, I was not formed as a man in my mind, but the work that I was doing in those first 5 or 6 years in my life, I had to go to work because I had kids, you know, and at a very early age. So I had to go to work and do what I had to do. So I was actually working 3 jobs when I got involved with this company. So you guys know, 92 hours a week. I had 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job, and I made a 6-figure income. Now that's all sound good and dandy, ladies and gentlemen. Be quite honest with you guys. I was living from paycheck to paycheck because I wanted to provide a lifestyle for my children. So one of the reasons why I got involved in this company was to be a present dad. Now, I was there financially, but my present wasn't there. So I needed to leave one of those jobs to actually do it, and ACN allowed me to do that. All right, let's just fast forward to today so you guys know and talk about exactly why we're on this call today. But I want to tell you guys right now, I've saw ACN. I got involved with the company. The company was 1.5 years, maybe 2 years old when I got involved with the company. Listen to what the president of the company would say from stage. He said, "We have a slim chance of making it, but if we do, it'll be the ride of your life." He should say slim chance of making it. Now, that was when I got started, all right, almost 31 years ago. Today, ladies and gentlemen, so you guys know, he doesn't say that no more. There's too many people that's made it, too many people that's done it. There's so much going on, so much taking place. So your timing is impeccable to get involved in this company, take full advantage of exactly what's going on, so you guys know, all right? And I'm going to tell you guys one horror story. Just remind me of that story, and I'll tell you guys as I wrap up the call. But the first thing I want to talk about you guys on this leadership call today is taking full control of your business and being the CEO of your company. And I want to tell you guys right now, so a man thinketh, so is he. All right. So when I got involved in this company, I come from a sports world. So I knew about, the cheering and the rah, 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 and being up front and being the leader and leading by example. I knew all that coming out the starting gate, so you guys know. So I took full control of my business from day one. And so I got introduced to the company from my brother. He gave me a phone call. This is what he said. He said, hey, we didn't make it to the NFL, but I found the business that compares NFL income and also retire our mom. I said, I'm in. I didn't even have to see the presentation. I was in from that one sentence or that one introduction that he said to me. We locked arms, got involved in the company. We went to work. Let me tell you guys right now. So I took full control from the day I started. And here's what I say this to you guys. So I'm at a Super Saturday event. They told me it was the biggest event of the year. At that time, I was living in Memphis, Tennessee. I go to the event. There's only one person there. I didn't know it was one person. I'm thinking corporate America. I thought they was going to kind of pre-interview me in one room and bring me in the room with everybody else. So the guy was there and he trained me. We started at 10 a.m. He got done at 4 p.m. that afternoon, and he trained me for 6 hours, whatever it was, 6, 7 hours. He just trained me, and it was just me and him. And I said, this is phenomenal. I'm ready to go. What I need to do next? I said, where's the next training at? He said, there's no training. He said, I'm on my way back to Maryland. I was stopping through because I was riding through, taking care of some business. And I got a phone call from someone telling me you was down here. So I figured I'd just do the presentation and the training. And so I relocated back to the Boston marketplace, and the nearest training facility in my area, because remember, back then there was no Zoom technology, no conference calls, none of this nature, right? And so the nearest training center in my area was New York City. So I plugged into New York City. I got to New York City. I want to tell you guys right now, my time is very valuable. So I knew that even at that time. I said, listen, who's the #1 producer in this marketplace? It was a gentleman by the name of Kempton Griffin. At the time, Kempton Griffin was a regional director. So you guys know, different name, position, same kind of category, regional director, right? And I said, that's who I need to meet. So I locked on with Kempton Griffin, and Kempton Griffin became my mentor from afar, but he didn't know that. So let me tell you what I did. For my very first year in the business, I went to New York City every Saturday. I never missed a Saturday training because I was the CEO of my own business. I took full control of the business, so you guys know. Now I would get to this training. It's 4 hours from Boston, so I would get to this training, so you guys know, and I would take full advantage of Mr. Griffin. I didn't want to talk to anybody but Mr. Griffin. I didn't want to bring nobody in front of the room to meet nobody but Mr. Griffin. If Mr. Griffin wasn't there, I would just lead the meeting when the meeting's over with me and my team as I start to build the team, so you guys know. So 12 months go by, and I made a decision to start my own office in the Boston, Massachusetts marketplace. That was in 1996. I launched that office off, and today is 2025, and as the longest lasting office in our organization, our office still exists today from 1996, so you guys know. So when you take ownership, everything happens when you take ownership. See, Mr. Thomas, he's the guide to your success, but he can't do it for you. See, he can say, do it this way, do it this way, do it that way, but he can't do it for you. You got to say, give me mentorship, but you got to be the one that drive it. You got to be the one to make it happen, because remember, you are a business owner. You don't work for ACN. You don't work for Mr. Thomas. You don't work for the Hurd of Us. You don't work for me. You don't work for nobody but yourself. You're the owner. So you got to take full control of your own business and have that mindset. Let me ask you a question right now. If you had 1,000 employees right now, and you had a physical building, like you had a business that you was running with a physical building, and you had 1,000 employees, all right, and you know these employees got to take care of their bills, they got to take care of their families and things of that nature. How would you act when you get up every single morning? See, when you get up every single morning, if you got 1,000 people, now Mr. Thomas has tens of thousands of people, so he can't get up in the morning not being excited. He can't get up in the morning not being pumped up. He can't get up in the morning talking about he can't even have a bad day. because he's the owner. And when you're the owner, you got to lead when you're sick, when you're not sick. You got to do it when you don't want to do it, when you feel like doing it, when you don't feel like doing it. You got to do it and do it. Why? Because the Nike sign said, just do it, right? So you got to do it, all right, every chance you get. The next thing I want to talk about with you guys is conducting daily presentations. Every single last one of you on this phone that's the CEO, president of your own business, and you're saying I'm an independent business owner, IBO. I'm taking full control of my business. This is whether you're brand new on the line or you've been around for some time, it doesn't matter. You need to be doing presentations. These presentations 15 to 20 minutes long via Zoom. Let me tell you guys, I did a presentation yesterday, right? I pulled over off the highway, got off the highway, pulled over, and did a 17-minute presentation right in the comfort of my car. The person didn't have Zoom, so I sent them over the 1 through 10 presentation and did the presentation right over the telephone in the car. 17 minutes later, the person says, I'm interested in the opportunity. See, that was me taking ownership, but you gotta get yourself a game plan. So here's the deal. Are you gonna do 3 presentations a day, 5 presentations a day? Let me break this down so we're on the same page. Let's say you did 3 presentations a day. And let's say you have 10 people on your team. And after a while, you teach all 10 of your people how to do 3 presentations a day. So between you and your team, that's 33 presentations a day. How many presentations that's for the week? Or for every 2 weeks, or for the month, or every 6 months? Do you understand right now that if 10 days went by and you and your team, let's say it's 10 of you guys, did 3 presentations a day, that's 330 presentations in a 10-day time period. Do you think you will get a lot of IBOs and customers from that? Absolutely. See, it's not about who can talk the best. Here's what I do know about Mr. Thomas. And I've seen him do it over 2 decades, so that I've known him. So I don't know about anything else, but I've seen him do it over and over again. Is that he's a master at his identifying people that's better than him. He's a master at it. And in our business, if you become a master at any level, if you become a master in customer acquisition, a master of teaching all this, a master in building an event, a master of teaching people how to win, you'll never have to worry about money. So his success is not because, yeah, he's a great gentleman, a sharp gentleman, all that comes along with that. Very quality, no questions asked. But he's learned the industry because he's been involved in the industry going on 4 decades. So he understands the power of identifying people that's better than him. See, what you got to do, you got to duplicate the system. So how do you duplicate? Do you want 1 leader on your team or do you want 10? Do you want 20 leaders on your team or do you want 40? Do you want 50? Now, what if you had 100 people on your team doing 1 presentation a day? Just 1. They spend 15 minutes a day doing their business. That's not even part-time. I don't know what you call that, but that's 100 presentations per day. Per day. In 30 days, so you guys know, that'll be 3,000 presentations in the 30-day time period. Do you think you'll walk away with a lot of business partners and customers? Of course you will. So you got to understand, when you take the CEO mindset, all right, you can't take the CEO mindset just one day. You got to do it every day. So now by you taking the CEO mindset, that's you daily doing presentations. You're taking ownership. I'm taking ownership. I'm taking ownership. That's how you take ownership, by doing presentations. The third thing that I want to mention to you guys is about promoting events. Now, we got the big convention coming up, 25 days, 24 days, whatever it may be, so you guys know. Now, I'm a stickler. We're promoting the event, so you guys know. We was doing a meeting last night, our weekly game plan call last night, and I was talking about who's in top pre-registration, et cetera, et cetera. So you guys know I'm a stickler with getting people to the event. Here's the reason why. I'm not talking about just to the convention. I'm talking about on this Zoom call right now. This is an event. This is not a regular Zoom call. This is a leadership call. It's an event. You guys got a big event tonight at 6 p.m. All right, Pacific Standard Time. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But once again, you got a big call tonight. That's an event. See, here's what I want you guys to understand. If Mr. Thomas is going to take 30 minutes out of his time to help you build your business, you know what you should do? Here's the way you thank him. Put 20 people on the call tonight. What about 40 or 50? So you got to go way beyond what you think about doing, because here's what I do know. The more people you get in front of Mr. Thomas, the more Mr. Thomas is going to help you look good in the business because he's going to talk highly of you. All right. So you're going to talk highly of him. He's going to talk highly of you. And it's going to be a win-win situation. So you got to use every situation as an event. Everything's an event. You just can't promote the convention and think that everything's going to work out. You got to promote every single event. I saw the flyers of some of the events that you guys got coming up that Mr. Thomas is going to be a part of. So once again, you guys are doing it. You're already doing it. Just do it at a high level. Remember, you're the CEO of your own business. So when you talk, you have to talk. See, if I'm talking to you right now, you guys hear me talking. And by the way, I'm mild right now. I'm not even excited. I'm mild. If I get excited, y'all gonna mess around and think I'm on something. So what I'm telling you guys right now is that, see, when I woke up this morning, when I rose out of bed this morning, because I don't get out of bed, I rolled out of bed. Does it make sense? I'm rose and I'm like, it's like oh, here I am, right? So that's why I would say, here we go, here we go, here we go again. Lives are being changed every single solitary day. Why do I say that? I'm the CEO of my own business. So when you meet me, ladies and gentlemen, I can change your life. That's why I say lives are being changed every single solitary day. That's the CEO mentality. So now let's talk about this upcoming convention. What are some things that you need to be doing promoting this convention so you guys will know? You need to be telling stories. So let's say you call someone on the phone, they say, well, I don't know if I want to go or not, right? Tell stories. Use the three-way call system. Call Mr. Thomas. I got somebody interested in going to the convention. I'm going to need you, Mr. Thomas. So you got to use every single avenue. But at first, as the CEO president, you promote it. You do what you got to do. And then sometimes you can get people 40% going, 6% going. You need that other push. So you need another voice. But you got to be the CEO. Listen, guys, let me tell you guys right now. Here's when I start promoting the next convention. You guys ready for this? Can't make it up to you guys. I'm at the convention. Let's just say we at the convention right now. I'm at the convention. I write down a list of all the people at the convention in my open line that's already with me. I write down a list of all these people. So when the charts come out, the reason why I'm always in top 5, because as soon as I go around the convention, at the convention saying, you registered for the next convention? I'm talking to them at the convention about the next convention. This is on Friday. This on, not Sunday, Friday. I'm walking up to them, how you doing? How you doing? You registered for this convention? Ask those people down that road, they registered. Oh, y'all registered over there? How many people registered? I'm promoting the convention at the convention for the next convention, and they don't even know when the next convention is because they ain't put it on the screen yet. Now, most cases I know, however, all right, are you registered? Are you registered? I'm promoting the convention before the convention. So now here it is. I got a list. I got my own list right here. I'm looking at my list. I got my list right here of all my people. Then I call my leaders and say, how many people you got? 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 What is your game plan? What's the game plan? To have at the minimum of 5 legs. Everybody on this phone needs to have 5 legs represented. I just registered. Hear me out, guys. I can't make this up to you guys. Okay, forget all that. What I'm saying. Let me show you. That's why I wanted to be cold so I can show you. I don't like to do all that talking and I can't show you. I like to show what I'm doing. This is when you show what you're doing, you ain't got to do a whole lot of talking. Hold 1 second here, guys. Y'all 1 second. Y'all don't hang up on me now. Okay, let me stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. Okay, here we go. I'm almost back. Give me a second. I'm back. Here we go. Let me show you. This just happened to me. This is open line. I got 10 legs representing me coming up at this convention, right? Now check this out, guys. So I said that I needed to have a certain amount of legs at this convention. And so I'm constantly promoting the convention, right? I'm constantly promoting. I don't know what's going on here, but I work it out. Don't worry about it, y'all. It'll work out. It always works out. That's why I love it. I love it. That's why I love who I serve, because he always works it out. All right? Now check this out. I met this young lady almost 3 years ago on social media. And for 3 years, I've been promoting the business for 3 years. Over every event, whether it be a Zoom call, leadership event, a business, anything that had to do with anything with business, I've been inviting her, right? So she said, Dr. Hurd, now it's time. Let me tell you how powerful it is. I found out she was a pastor through following her on social media. I started following her first. Then last year, I went to a ministry. They said they passed around a plate for extra offerings. I threw an offering in there. She said to me, she said, I knew that somebody gave an offering because the offering was a little bit different than it normally would be. But listen to what just happened. This happened in the last 24 hours. It says, Hurd of Us family congratulating new pre-registration for the Orlando, Florida National Business Convention, Dr. Yolanda Whitlow. Who is Dr. Yolanda Whitlow? Dr. Whitlow is excited about coming to our business convention as a guest and meeting the co-founders of ACN. Dr. Whitlow knows as a business owner, business leader, and most importantly, as a senior pastor of her ministry, she understands the first of what connecting with the right people and environment can produce for her following. Please stay tuned for the future success story. That's her. There's her registration. As you guys can see the date, August 11th, she got registered. Are you guys with me now? So here's what I mean by that. I can't ask the team to constantly lead if I'm not leading. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm registering my little sister from Mississippi on today. And I've been knowing her 42 years of her life. And I've been involved in the company. I got involved when she was a little baby. So what am I saying to you guys right now? You got to constantly lead by example. So the convention is going to be the biggest convention in the world. Here's what I say when I'm promoting it. This is going to be the biggest event that you've ever been to before in your life. It's going to change lives, but you got to be there. You're going to meet the co-founders, which is the heart beating soul of our company. You're going to have the opportunity to get trained at the highest level from regional and senior vice presidents. So you guys know, at the highest level, you don't get a chance to get training from all the companies that we're in partnership with. Executives company at the highest level. You're also going to have the opportunity to visit the product booths so you can go to those booths and talk to all those executives with those companies and representatives for those companies. It's going to be phenomenal. There's going to be breakout trainings for specific service that we provide. And also, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be recognition. You're going to see thousands of people getting recognized, all right, walking across the stage, being recognized and shaking the hands of the co-founder of the company, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you right now, we're so excited about what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to be there. Addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, so you guys know, there's going to be recognition. Teams going to be having their own recognition. I know the Hurd of Us team is doing a recognition on Friday night. We're going to be recognizing all the people from the last convention to this convention. It's going to be unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. We are anticipating hundreds of people walking across the stage with this organization. See, you just use your organization, if you got 5 people coming, all 5 of my people is gonna be walking across the stage. See, it's all mindset. You gotta have that mindset. And then I ended with this. I say on Sunday morning for those that love the Lord, all right? It's an optional church service. That's why I say optional, because everybody doesn't believe in that. So you say it's an optional church service for those that wanna come. And I'm telling you, I saw tens of thousands of lives change since I've been involved in this company at our ACN worship church service. It's unbelievable. And then you're going to hear the closing remarks from the president of our company. He's going to close out the event between 12:30 and 1 o'clock p.m. It's going to be life-changing. And here's what I do know by you being there with us for 2.5 days. Here's what I want you to understand. Your life is not going to be changed, but you're going to know you're at the right place, at the right time, with the right company, on the right team, with the right leadership. You're going to know that you're going to the top. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be unbelievable. And if you're not there, you're going to be 12 months behind everybody else that shows up. See, you can't say that to a guest because a guest ain't in, but you can say that to a business partner that's on the fence. But what you can say to the guest is that you got to make bold statements. If you come with me for 2.5 days, and I'm telling you, your life ain't changed, or this don't impact you in some kind of way, I'll pay you back your money. And I've been saying this for a long time, and not one time someone asked me for their money back. I'm telling you right now, lives are being changed every single solitary day. So you got to get excited. You just can't be a participant on the side, clapping your hand. Aren't you tired of clapping for everybody else? Clapping for everybody else, just clapping for everybody else. Aren't you tired of that? See, you got to start clapping for you, ladies and gentlemen. You got to start clapping for you. When are you going to say, it's my time, it's my season, it's my moment? I'm going to leave you guys with this right here. No matter where you are in your business, in your life, spiritual walk, physical, mental, it doesn't matter where you're at financially, all right? You got to always find a way to win. Look at the guy on the left. What is he doing? See, a lot of people, they get caught up and they start procrastinating. They start thinking, well, am I calling the right people? Am I saying the right thing? You know what? I talked to 10 people. Nobody said yes. People don't even show up. I invited people. They didn't show up. That's because you're thinking too much. And when you're thinking too much, ladies and gentlemen, it steals your power. Thinking steals your power. Now, I'm not talking about thinking to think about what people's doing. If you're going to think about winning. Think about going to the top, because whatever you think about, so a man think of, so is he. So if you're thinking about winning, you'll do winning things. If you're thinking about going to the top, you'll do top things. If you think about being a CEO, you'll do CEO things. Look at the guy on the right-hand side. Why, that person's over there thinking. See, the guy on the right-hand side, he looked at the same rock. Same rock the guy looked at is looking at the rock. The same rock. Maybe the guy on the left-hand side, he's saying the rock is too heavy. It's hot. It's cold. It's this. He had all kind of excuses, but the guy on the right-hand side, he said, I got one rock. And that was me, baby. I remember my business went through all this ups and downs and turns, and when I had one person or 10 people or a handful of people that was working, I said, I got one. But see, here's what I do, and I'm not preaching here, but I got to say this. God couldn't find one, so he became one. See, that's you on the right-hand side. You got to be the one, and you got to take that one rock, and you got to start digging. So you got to dig yourself to where you want to be. It doesn't matter where you at, because even if you're financially doing okay today, ladies and gentlemen, you need to go to another level. So how do you do that? Always be doing things that requires you to win. So you got to do whatever you got to do. It doesn't matter your circumstance, doesn't matter what's going on. You need to be a problem solver, all right? All right, let's say be a solution seeker, not a problem dweller. Don't dwell on what's not happening. Dwell on what's exactly what you need to do to make things happen. Solve anything you need to solve by hard work, perseverance, be persistent and consistent. And I'm telling you, phenomenal things that happen for you and your family. I want to leave you guys with a story. There was a gentleman by the name of Jim. And Jim was actually in elementary school. And Jim actually was a poet, but Jim stuttered. So he didn't say the poetry out loud. He would just write it down. And all the kids knew Jim stuttered. They would laugh at Jim, and they would make fun of Jim, and they would laugh at him all the time. And they would make fun of Jim. Here come Mr. Stutter. You got something to say? They would talk about him all the time. So this particular day, the teacher said, Jim, I know you're not going to recess. Why don't you write me a poem? And Jim wrote the poem. And she said, Jim, do you mind getting in front of the class and reading the poem? And Jim said, I'll get in front of the class and I'll read the poem. And he got up and he started doing it. So everybody started whispering. Here come the whisper. All the kids, oh, there go Mr. Stutter. Oh, we're going to be here all day long. So they started to talk about Jim. And Jim got in front of the room. He started to read this poem. And as they noticed, Jim wasn't stuttering at all. There was no stuttering coming from Jim. He was reading. He read it so phenomenal. The teacher was in shock. The kids was in shock. And they said, what in the world, what happened? See, a lot of times, guys, you don't understand that every successful person you know today had a beginning. Now, that gentleman by the name of Jim, today, we call him James Earl Jones. And as Mr. James Earl Jones was talking, they noticed his voice was very loud. He had a very, a very proud voice. Today, James Earl Jones became one of the voices of our time today, ladies and gentlemen. See, his power source, see, if you don't know your purpose, I don't care what ACN put on the table. If you don't understand your purpose, see, his power source and his purpose was his voice. My God, let me move forward. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm telling you, man, Goose is coming on me right now. See, his power source was his voice. It was his voice. It wasn't the poem, it was the voice. He changed lives because of his voice. That's why it's important that you got to be in the right environment around the right people. Because when you're in the right environment around the right people, every single last one of you have power inside of you. And this environment will allow that power to come out. And I'm telling you, you'll be edified and glorified on a whole nother level if you understand your purpose. Mr. Thomas, back over to you. Thanks a lot for allowing me to be on the call this morning.